I want to respond to your comments on the impacts of traffic calming. And I mean, I've been pretty vocal about the concerns I've had surrounding our IMP, which, I mean, has great ideas in it, but I found in Cole Harbour, at least, it doesn't really work well practically when you actually make the infrastructure changes and then it just doesn't roll out well. I've even heard from retired fire in my district with very grave concerns, street narrowing, intersection, like making intersections smaller and more concise, so not having adequate room. I've even heard from professional truck drivers who drive all over North America giving me their measurements of how it's just inconceivable. Why would the municipality do this? So yes, there's been a lot of feedback of concern around these things. And then of course we've just recently heard in TSC some other concerns about, in particular, traffic calming and the, I don't want to say misappropriation of the funds that we have, but we're funding streets that have very low risks, and then the streets that are higher risk streets we're not able to just because of the policy. So for example, the majority of our fatal and injury collisions occur within major collector and arterial roadways. So the implication of that is we are actually investing towards low impact countermeasures. So not really having an impact on safety. And it's also been told to me by many folks who are way smarter than me in this stuff, but people's speed perception when they are not in a vehicle is way off. So you think a car is going way faster than it is when you're not in a vehicle yourself. It appears to be going faster than it is. So people's complaints and perceived safety concerns may not actually, well, I mean, they may or may not be real. It could be based on a faulty perception just because of our dynamics there. So, like, moving forward, we need, you know, as council, we need to carefully consider this balance of vulnerable road users on streets with low collision numbers to no collision numbers versus high collision focus areas. So that, and the concerns of fire in terms of not meeting times of the risks that increase when the response times are compromised. I also wonder why we put traffic calming on streets with sidewalks. That's another thing. But I really think our IMP needs to be reassessed. I really do, because now that we actually have infrastructure that has been changed according to the IMP regulations, we have, like, is it working? Is it increasing? Or is it decreasing our collisions? How is it all working in one big happy family of our big municipality? And I do think our IMP should be looked at regarding the different regions of our municipality. I don't think a one-size-fits-all strategy for road use works. And I think we're seeing that right now. So, your comment on working with Brad and Public Works to get a broad idea of how this whole network strategy will impact the fire services, I think is brilliant. However, on our 24 and 25 budget, we have already approved 105 more streets for traffic calming for this coming year. So if you already don't have a good understanding of what we've already done thus far and the impacts it will have to your emergency response, and we're about to just do 105 more streets, I mean, whoa, something needs to give here. So I have a briefing note that I'm going to ask that we consider, and I'll just read it, to direct the Chief Administrative Officer to provide a briefing note outlining potential savings for pausing all traffic calming measures for 24-25 until work between Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency and Transportation and Public Works have been completed as a funding option on the budget adjustment list, the BAL, for the Budget Committee to consider in the 24-25 budget.
Okay, so that's a motion of Councillor Purdy. Is there a second for that?
No one's going to second?
I like the speed humps, but not corners.
Is there a seconder
Okay.
for the motion?
Well, that's great.
No,
there's
apparently not.
seconder. Okay, well, thanks.